morning, guys. Today I'm sharing with you my physique update and weigh-in because I haven't shared it in a while and I also haven't been paying attention to it myself. It's been a while since I've stepped on the scale or even taken progress pictures, to be honest. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. But you guys have seen me use this scale before. This is my digital body analyzer that I got from Vanity Planet. This is the scale that I always use when I'm weighing myself, and I really like it because it is a bit more accurate in terms of it allowing you to put in your height, your age, your gender, and you can like set your activity level as well. So I feel like it does give you like a decent guideline to go from, and what it does is tell you your weight, it tells you your body fat, it tells you your water weight and your bone mass. So it's just a guideline, and I always tell my clients this too. It's good to have something to give yourself a guideline and then you just follow the trend. So I believe it said my body fat was like around 24–25%, and so if I compared that to another body fat technique, it may not be exact, but you know, just use one method and it gives you something to kind of consistently monitor throughout your progress. You know, if you're trying to make some changes, and I will be trying to make some changes, this will be something that I can go to and kind of have a consistent idea of how things are looking. So I will be, even though I haven't been stepping on the scale much, I'm gonna be doing at least once a week weigh-ins. So I'll be stepping on the scale, seeing if my weight is changing, and more importantly, my body fat. Like, I'm not as focused on the number on the scale in terms of the weight as opposed to the body fat, and the muscle mass is really kind of what's nice to look at. So, you know, you can oftentimes get caught up in the number and think you're not making any progress, but then when you look at your pictures and you look at those other variables that play into it, you can make really crazy changes. So I also do, if you guys want a scale like the one mentioned here, I do have a discount code. It's FitLife. I believe you get 60% off of the scale. So I'll have that information below in the description box if you would like to get one for yourself. So as I mentioned, I haven't really been weighing myself probably for like a few weeks now. Really haven't been weighing, and I haven't taken a lot of progress pictures either. Like, even for Instagram, I just haven't been focusing on pictures or weigh-ins, because I feel like, although it's a great tool, and hopefully this will make some sense, but it's like this fine balance for myself or for any competitors out there. Like, it's important to have a good off season, right? If you're focusing on competing again and bringing a better package, you know, people say your off season is more important, what you do in the off season, right? But for me, once I get further away from my competition, which now I think I'm like 3 months post shows, my focus isn't so tunneled towards, Kara, you have to live each and every day of your life trying to make sure you have the best package for this one day, potentially in the future when you compete again. Like, that level of importance just isn't there for me anymore the further I get away from a show. And it's not to say I don't want to compete, because I do want to compete again, and I do want to bring a better package. However, what's more important to me, being a dietitian, being someone that's trying to be a positive influence in this crazy social media world, is I want to represent someone who's healthy all year round. I don't want to have the chronic fluctuations, and I also don't want to be someone, and I'm not going to be someone, it'd be cool if I could be someone that just stayed super lean all the time, but that's just not me. I have to work super fucking hard. And I think most people do, so don't get me wrong there. But I want to represent someone who looks and feels healthy and active all year round. So it's this shift. It's like this different shift for me to not be as focused on being as lean as possible in the off season, you know, which I think a lot of people want to stay as lean as possible. They want to stay as lean as possible in order to feel like they didn't lose all their hard work, and you know, you just look better, I guess, depending on what your preference is. But for me, it's been more of a shift towards focusing on feeling healthy and happy internally. That for me, it trumps everything else. because what good is it for me if I look super lean and shredded and get the most likes because I have these bomb-ass sexy photos on Instagram, but each and every day I fucking hate myself, or I'm tired or exhausted or angry, or I'm living my life based on every morsel of food. I personally don't feel like it's healthy for me to live my life that way, and that's not what I want to represent either. That's not my goal. And you know, I was someone who's been in the past very dependent on the number on the scale in terms of my self-worth, which is horrible. I think it's horrible. You know, I can't live my life like that. I can't do it anymore. So it's been really eye-opening for me reversing, because you know, we stopped, it went, I kind of stopped. It wasn't really Danica saying to stop. She was slowly including the intuitive eating days, and then it was just like, I noticed how less stressed I was about food when I wasn't trying to count it, when I wasn't trying to figure out what fits so perfect into these macros. And surprisingly, I eat healthier, in my opinion. I make better choices when I'm not like focusing on the numbers. And that's just where I'm at right now. And I think that's just a good example of how I want to model for my clients and future clients. I want to be someone you can look up to and say, she's someone that can balance it all. She can look fit and healthy and active, and she doesn't have to track every number. You know, I tell my clients to do this all the time when they're struggling, and I feel like I should be able to practice what I preach. I should be able to manage what I'm asking other people to do in order to be a good example. And not only being a good example, because I know that for myself can put too much pressure on me sometimes, but it's where I feel healthiest and happiest. So for right now, I haven't been tracking numbers. I wasn't stepping on the scale. Today you guys saw current physique, current weight update, and you know, I have to say I'm not like super, I've been feeling really okay with myself and how I've been doing. And then when I look at my pictures, it's kind of like, oh fuck, do I really look like that? Is that really what I look like? Because I didn't think I looked that bad. And I don't like being mean to myself either. But yeah, that's been a few weeks of intuitive eating. That's been a few weeks of probably the least working out this girl has done in a long time. It hasn't been as important to me, which I want that balance of it being important, but it hasn't been. So with that, I had planned on switching to paleo for a few reasons. Number one, a lot of the information I'm learning in my integrative and functional nutrition course speaks to the paleo diet in terms of gut health and decreased inflammation in your body, and just kind of overall going back to like caveman style eating, which, you know, I've done videos on paleo before and I've mentioned it's not an unhealthy diet by any means. It does eliminate a lot of foods, not particular food groups. I mean, it does eliminate dairy, but you're eating mostly like kind of higher protein diet. You're eating moderate carbs, more so choosing like fruits and vegetables as your carb sources, and ideally like locally grown seasonal type fruits and veggies, as well as like nuts and seeds. And then for fats, you know, again, nuts would count as your fats, but also things like coconut oil, you know, avocado, and things of that nature. So it kind of brings it back down to basics and makes it more of a whole food style diet. And for me, part of going through this integrative and functional nutrition course, what they advise you to do is be your own case study. And for me to be a good practitioner in terms of holistic approaches, I need to trial and error these things on myself. I need to be my own case study, see how they work. It's been a struggle hearing some of these things I'm learning and trying to unlearn what I heard in college, or, you know, to eliminate all whole grains for me is a really complex idea in my mind, because, you know, that's what I've preached for so many years. And while I don't think everyone needs to go this route, it's something I'm gonna try right now for me, not because I think it has to be the best diet for everyone necessarily, but this is a good time for me to try it out I'm gonna continue with intuitive eating with this paleo approach because I feel like that's important, since it's gonna be a diet where I'm consuming a little less carbs and possibly higher fats. I don't wanna be as focused on like seeing a number and being like, oh crap, I'm like really high in fat today, maybe I shouldn't be. I don't wanna focus on that. You know, and the cavemen didn't track, right? They just ate what they could get their hands on. Granted, I'm not in starvation mode here in today's society, so my body may not respond the same, but I'm gonna try it out for at least a month, and I'll keep you guys posted on how it works. If I'm seeing any results, like I'm still gonna weigh in probably once a week. I'll probably do photos once a week and just see if I'm seeing any physical changes, but also I'm gonna be keeping track of any internal changes in terms of my energy levels, in terms of how I'm feeling during workouts, and just like if I feel overall healthier. You know, sometimes you just feel healthier depending on what you're putting in your body. So this will be my first time really following this approach. I mean, I guess you could say I kind of have in the past with bodybuilding, but I don't know, this is a little bit different to me. So I'm gonna be sharing for you guys, like I'm gonna set myself up with a meal plan because I feel like that's gonna make it easiest for me to stay successful with this. So if you guys wanna sign up for my email listserv, if you haven't already, I'll give you the information. Sign up for that email, and I'm gonna be sending out for you guys some of my meal plan ideas that I'm gonna be utilizing. I'll probably switch up my meals once a week, and some of the recipes that I'm gonna be using. And so if you guys wanna do it along with me, that'd be cool. We can share recipe ideas and things like that. Let me know below if you wanna kind of do this approach with me and see how that goes. If you want a separate video discussing like more in detail on paleo, I can certainly do that as well. Just know I've been rambling a whole heck of a lot in this video. But I'm excited to try it out. I'm not stressed by it. This isn't something I have to do. This isn't something that I feel like I'm gonna be restricted on. It's truly just, I'm gonna try it out and experiment and see how it goes, and see if I notice some of those differences that I've been learning about in some of the material I've been reading, you know, that compares the paleo diet versus the westernized diet. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes, and I do feel like I need to give it at least a month to see results with it. My plan is to start that officially Monday. Reason being, I've got a 10-mile race tomorrow, so I don't want to be limiting carbs the day before and the day of a race like that my body's not used to. I feel like it'd set me up for failure. So we're gonna start that. I'm gonna be one of those people starting it officially on Monday, and so I will send the meal plan out to anyone on the listserv, and I'm excited. I have researched paleo quite a bit, and there's some differences based on like who you look at, whose approach. So I think it kind of depends just like how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. I'm gonna try to keep things as unprocessed as possible, but at the same time, you know, if I feel like I need to make a little treat concoction with like some dark cocoa and almond milk and things like that that are technically processed but still within the paleo parameters, I'm probably gonna do that. I'm excited to try something different. I think I'm at a good starting point. I don't hate my physique. I'm happy with how I've progressed post-show compared to last year. At the same time, there's still some areas that I'd like to kind of improve on. I'd like just a touch more structure in there to just look a little bit more fit. So it'll be interesting to see if, you know, not tracking and following paleo helps me out. And then I'll do that for a week or two, and if I feel like I need to start tracking, you know, depending on how I'm looking, depending on what my weight is, then I'll start tracking and go from there. So that's the update, that's the ramble. Hopefully some of it made sense to you guys and some of you may be able to relate to it. I think that's gonna be it for this update, guys. I wanted to keep it kind of short and sweet and to the point, and so I will see you guys in the next video. I'll have some vlogs going up, and make sure you sign up for the email list if you want that information. I'll see you in the next one.